Hello, my UFO family and community. I'd like to speak a little bit about how we have some common interests and common bonds, and a little bit about perhaps our history. Have you ever noticed that a lot of the UFO abductees or people that have been contacted seem to be very artistic? We are artists. We always seem to be able to play a musical instrument of some kind. Many of us are into instruments. We're painting. We're painters. We paint. It's very impressive. The number of individuals who believe in UFOs and extraterrestrials are very artistic people. It's amazing. With that being said, I'd like for you to think for a moment that we could have possibly been born on another planet in a past life. In this life, we have reincarnated into Earth in a human body, in earthling bodies. We take some of that knowledge with us, and we spread our love and our message, just like our prophets and messiahs that we worship and that we turn into religions like Jesus, Muhammad, etc. The list goes on. But they usually come with a message of love, healing, light, kindness, and things of that sort, if you'll pay attention to that. And then sometimes down the road, another individual gets involved and then changes that and turns it into something bad. Things have been changed and things have been altered. Pay attention to the Bible in the beginning. It's very important that this says we, meaning us, were made in their image and in their likeness. Now, when people speak of God, they always seem to speak of a singular individual known as God. That's how many of us perceive God. But now, who is they? Who are they? They created us in their image and in their likeness, and they became as gods, meaning more than one God, knowing right from wrong, it says. Of course, some of us don't, but that's the meaning here. If we have lived on a different planet and we reincarnated into this one with that knowledge, we're called mystical travelers because we can travel, our spirits anyway, or we're called ultra terrestrials. It's pretty much the same thing. I'd like to speak a little bit how I'm not sure that there's a lot of talk about how they're not good. There's a lot of fear going on about aliens, about ETs, and that's not going to help us. It's not good. We need to focus on what we do know to be a fact. From what I've encountered and studied and researched, astronauts talk about UFOs and not a negative, derogatory way, if you'll listen to them. Our world leaders really don't say anything bad about them. They have, from what we have learned, they have disabled our nuclear weapons. Now, you tell me, is that a bad thing? Are nuclear weapons for any country at all a good thing? No. Killing people is not okay. The destruction of our planet is not okay. That is not evolvement. That is not of the light. It is nothing but dark, negative energy. Nothing about fighting and war is good. Now, these beings, they've had many, many years to evolve themselves to know the difference between right and wrong. We are still learning. We're still in our infancy stage. We are the children, or the new kids on the block, so to speak. They know that. Take that into consideration. Now, when they talk about reptilians eating us, I also have a problem with that. Do I know that that's a fact that they don't? No, I don't know that. What I'm talking about is what I do know. With what I do know, they are showing us that they are concerned as a human race. They're concerned about us as individuals, about our evolvement, about our prosperity. if you take into consideration that perhaps that some of us were ETs in a past life, living in a different planet amongst them, that would make us family. You see how we're a universal family, a universal community? We're all tied together. We could very well know them. So when you look up in the sky and you see what you believe to be a UFO, therefore, we always picture UFOs with extraterrestrials inside of them, you could be observing your family. And if you take into consideration that we were made by them, we could be genetically made by them. We could have their genetics. So therefore, we are a family. Take into consideration that all of these individuals that we worship and turn into religions, for instance, one example, Jesus, and many more, okay, they come to teach us of light and love and healing. I don't know if I've already mentioned that, but it's important. If I have mentioned it, it's okay to mention it again. They are evolved entities. They are also mystical travelers themselves. We will hopefully one day get to that point where we can evolve. See, that's the mass consciousness. That's the mass evolving, uplifting our spirits, our souls, taking care of ourselves. Yes, it is important. It is important for our spiritual growth. That's another thing. A lot of these ETs are spiritually advanced beings. So, when it comes to taking a human being and eating them, I have a hard time with that, personally. But I'm just spreading to you, telling you what I do know and what I have learned. Do some research, and you cannot believe everything that you hear or see. Yes, perhaps including what I say. I'm trying not to be, partial. I'm trying to look through things with your eyes also. But as someone who has had experiences myself, I'm sharing with you what I do know. Thank you very much for watching the video.